a lot of you people who like anime, your favorite character, if they were real, they would not fuck with you at all. In fact, they would probably hate your guts, especially when it comes to like your waifu. Your waifu hates you, bro. She would not even fuck with you. All right, today we're gonna be reacting to racism in the anime community makes no sense.
When you get isekai into this world, you don't have a choice as to what class you are. Some of us pop.
Wait, does isekai mean, I mean, I guess it's the same thing. I was thinking like in order to be isekai, you have to be killed and then reincarnated somewhere else. That's what I figured. But I guess technically it could be the same thing if you don't know where you came from previously.
Pop in as a mage, some of us pop up as a brawler.
Imagine being isekai and you come back as a half bird, dude. Like, I don't care how strong you are, whatever your abilities are, you got a bird head, bro. That fucking blows.
Me, I ended up as black. As you all probably know by now, this class is a pretty controversial one. Some might even say that it has the highest difficulty level out of all the classes. But despite all of these things, I love being black.
Yes, sir. Say it again.
I also love anime, and nothing will ever change that, but for some reason it feels like there's a lot of people that don't want any individuals of my skin color to be a part of anime culture. I feel like more than ever in the 21st century,
That's because for some reason anime fans are super like racist and like, I don't know, they're super weird. And the thing is, I don't understand it because they love anime. And I've said this before, but a lot of animes, like they have similar themes about friendship and accepting people and doing the right thing, all that type of shit. But then they'll love that and then turn around in real life and completely ignore what the animes that they're watching were even about and start being the most despicable pieces of shit online and sometimes in person. So it's just like, what are you watching the anime? Like, are you even, I'm questioning sometimes if they even pay attention to what they're watching, if they're even like absorbing the shows, or if they're just watching because big anime titties or whatever. You know what I mean?
racist epidemic spreading like wildfire amongst people who don't even really care and just want to make edgy jokes, and it's affecting all corners of the internet.
A lot of people who used to watch anime, it's a little bit it's way more mainstream now. But the people that used to watch anime, they're kind of outcasts and they're used to being bullies or whatever. So now they have the opportunity. They see, oh, now we can be the bullies. You know what I mean? I did a video talking about this similar on my other channel. Basically, like these types of people, they don't like, they're not against bullying. They just don't want to be bullied themselves. It was pretty much the point I was trying to get across.
You guys see my channel, all right? I'm not a super political guy. I make irreverent comedy videos about Japanese media. But with all the racially charged events that have been happening lately with ICE and the president of this country, and with all the politics going on in the nerd...
Yeah, this shit drives me crazy. I don't understand why they do this. I mean, I get why they do this, but it's like, whatever. And as far as like not being political, so much anime is political just by default. A lot of like the themes and things that they tackle is, a lot of it is political. So for people to be like, I don't like politics in my anime, which some people say, you know, it's a crazy thing to me.
Community itself, I thought this would be the best time to make a video about racism in the anime community and how it makes absolutely no sense. There's one moment that I remember vividly to this day. I was sitting on the couch in my living room watching Naruto Shippuden, and my dad walks by and makes a comment. Why do you watch all of these whitewashed cartoons? I've never seen you watch anything with black people in it. And to that I respond, these characters aren't white, they're Japanese.
I think most people just kind of default anime characters Japanese if the show artist or author, whatever, doesn't explicitly say other. But there are like context clues within shows where you can tell, okay, this person's meant to be this race or whatever. And as far as your dad, someone's dad saying, or somebody just in general saying whitewash cartoons is crazy. Like, why don't you watch anything with black cartoons in it? Because growing up, there were no shows like that. There was maybe a handful of shows, and most of the time they weren't popular, and you had to kind of go out of your way to find them. For somebody to say that, I guess, at that time, then again, I don't know how old this person is, but for somebody to say that, especially your parents, it's so silly. It's such a silly thing to say.
This point when I said this, Naruto himself was on the screen, which gave this guy the perfect ammo. He says to me, "There's no way you're gonna tell me a character with blonde hair and blue eyes is Japanese." And at that point, I was stuck. Little 14-year-old me didn't know how to respond to that. Comments like that made me think of how black people were depicted in Japanese media in the 90s.
Yeah, we only recently started getting some like decent black representation in anime. That's not to say that there weren't any, but if you go back and look, a lot of black characters, if they were in the show, they kind of did just look like this, or they were black coded like Piccolo.
a mangaka thought black people looked like. The most famous examples are characters like Staff Master Black, Mr. Popo, and Choco Love McDonald. What the fuck is that?
I don't know who that last person is, but it's fucking crazy the way they look. And Mr. Popo that's like a whole different thing. I'm not even gonna get into that one.
That name. They all kind of had the same features: black skin and comically large lips. Now, it's no secret that black people in the real world have larger features, but I think it's more so the big ass lips that piss people off. It was way too reminiscent of the classic blackface. Now, do I believe these mangaka are inherently racist? No. Back then, the population of black people in Japan was lower than my credit score, not even reaching the
I get that, but at the same time, is that really an excuse? You know what I mean? Like, you have access to television and media just like everybody else. Obviously, maybe the internet wasn't around but they had access to things. I don't like that excuse too much because it treats the entire Japan population like, kind of like, in a way, it babies them like, oh, they didn't know better. They were just kids. You know what I mean? It's like, there's adults making these comics or making these animes and these mangas. Like, you telling me they couldn't do any research? They couldn't be bothered at all? There was books back then. There's other forms of media other than the internet where you can find examples of what black people look like. You know what I mean? So I don't really like that excuse too much.
thousands. Also, social media wasn't as big of a thing as it is now. So a Japanese person could probably go their entire life without seeing a black person. So I want to
Sure, but there was movies, there was television, like I said, there were books, there was other, people seem to forget that before the internet, there was other forms of media to learn and educate yourself on things, like the library, for example. There's other places you can go, and if you're working and making anime and manga or whatever, you could always do the proper research. Maybe find a black person if you know what I mean? I just feel like people didn't want to, I don't know, but I feel like some people, they didn't really want to put the work in to actually make something accurate. Maybe they didn't care. I don't know, but it's a silly thing to say.
give them the benefit of the doubt and say that it wasn't necessarily racism, but more so just misinformation, depicting black people how white people would depict us in their media. Another reason is that a lot of anime characters are incredibly white passing, which makes it a lot easier for lighter skinned people to see themselves in these characters. Not to mention that some of these stories don't always take place in Japan. While yes, most of these are fictional settings, some of these stories do mimic places like London or even older civilizations like Rome, which are of course predominantly white. This made it really easy for new fans to exclude black people from the equation. I think another reason for this racism has to deal with how children were ostracized for liking anime at such a young age.
And I'm sorry, they would do research and stuff to set their anime in different places in the world to make it a little bit accurate. Like they would do that. Like you can do the research for that, but you can't do the research when it comes to black people. All right, man.
From my experience, I wasn't able to find too many other black children that were interested in anime the way I was. And most of the color kids that saw I was interested in that stuff would say things like, "Oh, you like that weird white people stuff."
It's funny that people say that because maybe it's just my personal lived experience, but I've never been in that situation. Like the majority, I wouldn't say the majority, but I did have a lot of black friends in high school who also liked anime. But the thing was, it wasn't as big or as popular and as mainstream as it is now. But people liked it. People talked about it. Granted, it was like Dragon Ball Z and Pokemon or whatever. But at the same time, nobody was like calling it, "Oh, you like white people." Like I've never heard anybody actually say that shit. Sometimes I could be wrong, but sometimes I feel like that shit is made up and people are just, I don't know, man. Maybe, like I said, it's just my personal lived experience. Maybe this really did happen to this person as well as other people. Maybe I was just lucky.
Which caused a schism between many black children and their culture. But nowadays, it's a lot different. There are so many black and brown people coming out and expressing their love for all.
And it's crazy because a lot of these people are in their 30s and it's like they didn't just wake up and start liking anime. I mean, sure, some people have maybe recently been put onto it, but a lot of these people are this age and they've probably liked it their entire life. So this isn't a new phenomenon. Like I said, it's just now that it's more mainstream, people being more open about it. So it wasn't a lack of black people liking anime. It's just it wasn't as mainstream at the time.
All things anime and manga. And crazy impressive strides are being made in the community, like DreamCon, an anime convention for black.
DreamCon. I gotta go to DreamCon one day, man. That's like on a goal. Like I don't really care for conventions like that. Like they don't really do too much for me. I'm not a crazy convention person, but DreamCon is one convention I gotta go to one day for sure. I need to.
Black people by black people, but more importantly, the people who actually make anime and manga have become more inclusive and have since added way more black representation. And that leads into my next point. Messages about equality and accepting people,
This is exactly what I said in the beginning of the video. All right, I'm glad he hit this point.
no matter the size, shape, or color, are plastered throughout the most popular anime and manga. There are so many examples of this, but I want to focus on one of the most popular series of the modern
Naruto?
day, One Piece.
One Piece.
In One Piece, there are
Okay.
clear themes about accepting people for who they are, and instead of judging them by race, you should judge them by their actions. This is especially apparent with characters like Arlong and the entire Fishman population, with Fishmen being discriminated against for being different from.
I'll be honest with you, I've never, well, I don't say never watched One Piece, but I never consistently got into One Piece. So this is kind of like I don't know the reference for this character. He's explaining it, obviously. But even as someone who's never watched One Piece, I know One Piece is like has this type of theme. And it's one of the most popular animes. And so many people will tell you, oh, you should watch One Piece. It's amazing. It's the best anime ever or whatever. But then at the same time, I've seen people online who like One Piece and said their anime is, their favorite anime is One Piece in their bio or whatever, say some of the foulest shit. And it's like it convinces me that you people don't even pay attention to your own favorite anime.
The human race. They are seen as inferior and even used as slaves. Of course, there are martyrs that try to advocate for fishmen and mend the relationship with humans like Queen Otahime or Fisher Tiger, but they're ultimately killed for their progressive behavior. And as this hate persists, it indoctrinates the youth like Arlong and Hody Jones to become products of the racism that plagued their country, retaliating against humans in any way they can. The most important part of this is that the way Eiichiro writes this is to clearly show that racism, bigotry, and hating people because of something they cannot control is wrong and evil. This is
Shout out to One Piece. Maybe I should try and get into it again. Like I fuck with the message for real. I don't know, man. It's just something about super long animes that kind of turns me off. Because I feel like I'm trying to catch up, and it's just so much. It's overwhelming. Then on top of that, there's other shows I want to watch, and it's like a commitment. But you know what? Shout out to One Piece.
shown by Luffy, the main character, not only defeating racism on the fishman side, but the human side as well. And remember, One Piece is one of the most popular stories in the history of stories. And yet there are people that will partake in this racist behavior and still be fans of One Piece.
That's what I literally just said. Yo, me and him are kind of locked in. Hold on, wait a minute.
If Luffy existed in real life, y'all would get the Charlos treatment. Not
Yo, I've been saying that. There's so many people who's like, oh, Luffy's my favorite character or whatever. And not even just Luffy, just other characters. And it's like, yo, a lot of you people who like anime, your favorite character, if they were real, they would not fuck with you at all. In fact, they would probably hate your guts, especially when it comes to like your waifu. Your waifu hates you, bro. She would not even fuck with you. This shit is so funny to me.
to mention that these themes are also plastered in almost every other anime story, like Attack on Titan, Naruto, Jujutsu Kaisen Mojo, Full Metal Alchemist, Beastars.
Low key, that'd be a fire ass shirt. Your waifu hates you. All right, let me stop being a weeb for a second.
Code Geass, Cabaneri of the Iron Fortress, that time I got reincarnated as a slime, Maggie, Black Clover, Mobile Suit Gundam.
Oh my god, just Gundam is one of the most there's no way you can watch mecha anime and mecha anime be your favorite like type of anime of all time and then go around and start talking about you hate politics and you're racist and all this shit, because that is all most of Gundam is about, dude. Holy shit.
Jesus Christ. Do I have to say more? But somehow racism still runs rampant in the community. I don't get it. Like, it truly doesn't make any sense. One of the most recent victims of this vitriolic behavior is Ashley Gail Paxton. Ashley was a 19-year-old black UCLA student.
Oh yeah, I remember hearing about this. This shit was terrible, man. This shit pissed me off.
That found joy in cosplaying her favorite anime and video game characters. She amassed a pretty big following under the handle Squid Kid 1111 for her pretty accurate cosplays. However, she would receive a bunch of racist, bigoted, and overall nasty comments because of the color of her skin. Comments like "Migga," "Blacku," and "Shark nigga." I know most people would.
Listen, man, if you're like in the cosplay community or just in the anime community in general and you're black, don't let these fucking people get to you, man. I know that's easy for me to say because like once you get to a certain size and a certain amount of popularity, it's just those types of comments only intensify, and it can absolutely fuck with your mental. Like, I understand that. Like, I'm not even that big of a content creator. Like, so one of the things I want to do as a black VTuber is I do want to show people, other black people, that there are people in this community and there are people in this space, there are black VTubers doing this thing, because I know a lot of the bigger VTubers, aren't necessarily black. That's not to say there's anything wrong with that, but I want to kind of show them like we are in this space as well, and it's all right. And even at my size, I've gotten weird comments before, and I'm nowhere near like a big VTuber at all. And I could only imagine being a certain size and getting those comments on a daily every time you upload, no matter what platform you're on. That shit is gonna get to you. Obviously, you have to have, it comes with the territory of being a content creator. You have to have a thick skin, but like I feel like multiplied even more so if you're not a white content creator, if you're just black, if it's even worse. So I mean, if you're in the anime community and you do anything type of content creation, like, keep your head up, man, because this shit sucks. It's unfortunately it's just something we have to deal with. Just know you have way more people fucking with you than the loud minority of people leaving these shitty comments on your videos, your cosplays, or whatever.
And show the comments, but I think it's important to see because it stresses my point that these people are being edgy and racist because they want to be funny without any regard for the person behind these comment sections. She would end up taking her own life. It's truly a tragic story for someone so young. But I don't only want to focus on the negatives. Let's be progressive. It seems like these bigots don't want us to see ourselves in any of these characters. And they also feel like these characters shouldn't be depicted in blackness, and specifically blackness.
But thank God a lot of this shit is changing with modern animes. Like we're starting to see a lot more undeniably black characters in, anime media. So like it's only gonna get better and better from here. Especially like I always say the name was anime wrong. Gachi Akuda or Gachi Yakuda. I don't know the right way to say it, but there's some great examples of black characters in there, and there's no denying that those characters are black. So I definitely want to see more creators actually go out of the way to make accurate depictions of black people in anime. And I'm sorry, one thing I want to say is I'm tired of the majority of black characters or dark skinned characters in anime having white hair. Like to me, like, yeah, sure, it's cool, but it's so played out at this point. I feel like it's such a cop out that when people want to have a black character in their anime, but they don't actually want to put an effort to learn how to draw black hair or black features, they just slap some white hair on the character and call it a day. That shit is so lame to me, man.
Because I rarely see any hate for the Mexican freerun memes. In any space, black people have always had to kick down the door and let themselves in despite what any racists have to say. And that's no different here. We have to stop begging Japanese people to give black people more representation, and we have to be the ones to represent ourselves. One thing I can say about the black anime community is that we're always begging for representation, but then we overlook the actual black creators that are giving us exactly what we.
Yeah, there's a lot. There's a good amount of people that I follow online. I wish I had like access to the handles in front of me because I can't remember the handles. But there is a lot of people actually trying to make some good, unique anime, manga, with black characters and the main characters because they themselves are black. Maybe I'll link some stuff in the video or post some stuff in the video when I edit this so you can see what I'm talking about.
Want.
Maybe
There
he'll
are
do
people
it.
that are
Yeah, see, this is the
actually
person.
making strides.
What is it white manga or manga white? I always get it confused. Like I can't remember like the name, but I follow this creator.
And already putting us first in their original
Corey, of course.
creations. If we want to see more representation, the best way to get it is to make it ourselves. And even when they hate on that, that just exposes them for being extra evil and racist. Fuck them niggas, we ball. Go support professional stories like Half is More by Yoko Fujimi, who is actually a mixed race black and Japanese mangaka. Go support stories like Clock Strike.
Yeah, see, I've seen both of these. It's pretty fire.
And Apple Black, both written by black authors. Frederick L. Jones and white manga. Very ironic name choice, but I promise he's black. There's even smaller creators that create amazing colored manga.
Oh man, don't even get me started. There's so many indie creators that I follow that like do also have like manga that they're working on. They're black creators. It's a beautiful thing, man.
Ruthless Render by DD Mark,
I never heard of that.
Mist by Red F Manga, and even me with Crystal Wars.
See, this is new. I've never heard of these at all.
In the description. At the end of the day, we have to be the change that we want to see, because no matter how much it doesn't make sense for people to be racist in this community, that's always gonna persist against black people.
It doesn't matter what space you're in. There's always gonna be dirtbags that space that aren't gonna want to see black people there. So fortunately, like you said, you kind of just have to do your own thing and force your way in and fuck them.
With everything that's going on, us black nerds have to band together. That's why we have to support things like RDC and DreamCon. We have to support the indie mangaka that are representing us in their works. And we also have to support the actual professional Japanese mangaka like Kei Urana that puts tons of black characters in their work. As long as we continue to band together, the minority will become the majority.
This dude is absolutely like spitting in his video. I fuck with everything he said. You know, he is preaching for sure. I fuck with his videos. I gotta check out some more because this is the first one of his videos that I've seen, and it's actually really good. So shout out to him. Of course, I'm gonna link the video in the description if you want to support and check out his channel. And I agree with everything he said in his video. It's funny, a lot of points that he made, I've already felt that way before, and I said at the beginning of the video. So I fuck with him for sure. But that's it for this video. Thank you for watching, and I'll talk to you in the next one.